Hey everyone, and welcome back to my channel. And if you're new, what up? So as you guys can see from the title, this is going to be my Shop My Stash refresh. I filmed my video, like the intro video, maybe a month or so ago, and I'm ready to refresh all of the products that is currently in my Shop My Stash. I feel like I've used everything a good bit of times. I've even done some get ready with me's and everything, so I will leave those links as I talk about the products. So yeah, I'm ready to just refresh everything, and as you guys can see, we are in a totally different setup. I finally got my spare bedroom together, and I bought a desk and everything. So this is going to be my new desk slash vanity, where I'm going to keep like my everyday makeup and my Shop My Stash products and everything like that, so I can get ready in the morning. So I'm super happy about that, and hopefully as I get my spare bedroom together even more, I will be able to actually shop my stash and show you guys my collection and go through the products instead of how I do it now. But either way, let's get into it. I'm going to start by talking about the products that I currently had in. I'm not going to spend too much time talking about them, and then I'm going to talk about the new products that I'm going to be bringing in to the Shop My Stash. So let's get started with the primer. So I had in these two primers, the NYX Can't Stop Won't Stop and the NYX Marshmallow Primer. I actually really like both of these. You guys already knew that I love the NYX Can't Stop Won't Stop, but the NYX Marshmallow Primer, this is actually new to me, and I really enjoyed this primer while I was using it. It's very smoothing, and even though I still like to go in with a more mattifying primer on top of this, this was a really nice primer. Same thing with the foundations. I rediscovered my love for these foundations. So the Juvia's Place, this is in the shade Burkina. This is actually my current shade right now because I'm really light for the winter time, but this foundation is amazing. Full coverage, oil controlling, like really good for like glam makeup looks. And then this CoverGirl True Blend Matte Made, this one is more of a medium coverage foundation, but it's still amazing. Like I said, I rediscovered my love for this foundation, and the shade match is great for me right now as well. And then I had this one setting spray in here. This is the Ulta Beauty Wanna Be Free setting spray. This did a really good job at setting my makeup down. This is the oil controlling one, so I really did like the setting spray. Good to know that now, because I have literally, you guys, I have like 20 something setting sprays. I need to start getting through them, so it's good to know that this one is really nice. I need to discover some more really good setting sprays in my collection. I'm gonna move on to my powder. So my Morphe Filter Effect powder, this is in the shade number 4. This is really good for highlighting under my eyes. I ended up falling in love with the Fenty Beauty setting powder. In my initial Shop My Stash, I said how this was kind of dark for me, but I started using it under my eyes, and it really did a good job. It's not too much of a highlighting powder, but it was just enough for me, so I really did enjoy using that one. And then I had the Coty Airspun powder in here. I actually need to use this a bit more. I'm not going to leave it in my Shop My Stash, but just like for my own thoughts, I need to pull this out and use it a bit more, because I don't know if my opinion on this has changed, because I used to really love this powder. Like, this was an A1 soft, finely milled powder, but for some reason I couldn't make it work this time, but I don't know. So I'm gonna have to try that out again. And then the Fenty Beauty face setting powder, mine is in the shade 420. This is actually too dark for me right now. This will be better for the summertime. So I'm gonna go over to my concealers. So I had in the CoverGirl True Blend Undercover Concealer in Warm Honey. This concealer is amazing, full coverage, doesn't crease. And then I also had in the Juvia's Place I Am Magic concealer. Again, it works really well with the foundation. It's great if I bake with it, it doesn't crease. For my eye products, I had in the Juvia's Place eyeshadow primer in shade number 2. This is amazing. I'm actually going to keep this in here because I love using this on days where I am like filming a tutorial or something like that, or doing a really glam makeup look. I love this product. And then I had in 2 Colourpop Super Shock shadows. I'm going to put both of these away. I had Lightning Bug and Secret Garden. They were absolutely amazing Super Shock shadows, so those are coming out. This powder right here, this is my Colourpop No Filter face powder. This is actually the only powder, well, one of the only powders in my collection that fits me right now. I'm really in between shades. Like, I'm super duper light right now for the winter time, you guys. So I am actually going to keep this in here to use as my face setting powder. For my bronzers, I had in the E.L.F putty bronzer. This one is in the shade Sunkissed. Amazing cream bronzer. I really like using that one. And then I had in these 2 bronzers, one from Maybelline, one from MAC. I used both of those and they were great. For my blushes and highlighters, so I had in this Morphe blush trio. This one is in the shade Papa Fuchsia. Got some really good use out of that one, especially for Valentine's Day. And then I had this Doja Cat blush in. This is the Flora blush trio in Poppy. So I got some good use out of this. I got some good use out of my highlights. So this is the Revlon Skin Lights. This one is in the shade Twilight Gleam. So I really like this highlight. I used it a couple times. And then the Wet n Wild Mega Glow highlighting powders. You cannot go wrong with these. This one is Crown on My Canopy, more of a pinky tone. And then I had in the Artist Couture loose highlighter in Summer Haze, which I used and loved. So for my lip products, I'm basically going to take out everything except for 2 glosses. Actually, 1 gloss that I added in the beginning, and then 1 that I added in later on. So this is the Dose of Colors The Most lip gloss. I'm going to keep that one in, and then I also ended up bringing in this Buxom lip gloss. This one is in the shade Trixie, and as you guys can see, it's just a pink shimmery color. So I added that one in, and then everything else I'm taking out. So I had my 2 Colourpop Bullet lipsticks. I had my NYX Soft Matte Lip Cream in the shade London. I had the Madison Beer lip gloss. This one is in the shade Mars. And then I had this really old throwback matte collection lipstick. So I'm taking all of those things out and putting new things in. So for lip liners, I had 3. I had a like warm medium brown, I had a lighter warmer brown, and then I had kind of like a burgundy berry color. So I am actually going to leave in the Milani one and the Kylie one. Like, I don't need to stray too much into my lip liners because I pretty much use a dark brown and a light brown pretty often, so I don't need to really like choose new lip liners. And then for eyeliners, I did have in a dark brown, a black, and then I had in, I believe, this shade from Colourpop. This is in the shade Macrame. So I'm actually going to take this one out, and then I'm just keeping my black and my brown eyeliners in my everyday makeup drawer, so I don't need to change those out. And then for my eyeshadow palettes, I had in the Naked Honey eyeshadow palette. I actually have a Get Ready With Me coming using this palette. This is what she looks like. I did get some good use out of this. The next palette I had is the Huda Beauty New Nude palette, and I did use this one for a Valentine's Day makeup tutorial as well as for going to work and a whole bunch of other things. I got really good use out of this eyeshadow palette. It kind of looks well loved, so yeah, I'm taking that one out. I'm also taking out my Pat McGrath Celestial Divinity eyeshadow palette because I'm actually about to put in her Celestial Odyssey palette in this round of Shop My Stash, but this is what that looks like, so I did get use out of that one. And then the very last palette that I got use out of, that you guys saw me do a Get Ready With Me in my initial Shop My Stash video, this is the Pat McGrath Labs Utopian Dream eyeshadow palette, and I am taking this out of the Shop My Stash. So that's everything that I had in the last time. Now I'm going to go through all of the products that I picked for this round and talk to you guys about them. So like I said, I'm adding in the Pat McGrath Labs Celestial Odyssey palette, and really I wanted to add this one in because I really want to use this green for St. Patrick's Day to do a St. Patrick's Day makeup look. And then all the other colors are really, really pretty. This one actually gives more of a neutral, soft vibe. Like, you can really do an everyday makeup look with this palette, which is something that you can't really get from her other one, her Celestial Divinity palette. So I really wanted to add this in here and just get some nice use out of it. Okay, and so then the next palette that I'm adding in, this is the E.L.F. Electric Mood X Tianna Major 9 palette. So I've had this palette for a minute now and just have not used it, but I did swatch the shimmers yesterday, and the shimmers are actually stunning. Really, really beautiful. They work better as like toppers, but that's okay because y'all know I love me a glittery finish topper eyeshadow. So I will be giving this palette a chance and putting it in my Shop My Stash. Another palette that's new to me, this is the Colourpop Plush Like Me eyeshadow palette, and I don't know what it is about this palette, but I absolutely fell in love with the colors of this palette, and I cannot wait to use it. I especially love this shimmer shade right here and this shimmer shade right here. So the colors just really got me. It's so pretty, you guys, so I cannot wait to use this palette. It's neutral, but I feel like it's still fun, so I'm adding that in. And then I'm also going to be adding in my Sigma Core de Rosa palette. So I feel like I didn't get a whole lot of use out of this palette. Like, when I first got it, as you guys can see, the shadows are pretty much still looking brand new. So I wanted to put this palette in here. It has some really pretty pinky tones, purpley tones. You could do a neutral look with this palette, like an everyday look. So I just really wanted to add this in and get some use out of this. And then the very last palette that I'm adding in, which is more so a face palette than it is an eye palette, this is the Milani All-Inclusive Eye, Cheek, and Face palette, and this one is for medium to deep skin. So this is what it looks like. It comes with a highlight, a bronzer, 2 blushes, and then 3 eyeshadows. And I really just wanted to get some use out of this palette because I bought it and then never really used it. I've swatched the colors, but I think I can create a really pretty look with the shadows, and then the bronzer actually works for my skin tone, so does the blushes. So I think that this would be something really, really nice to add into my Shop My Stash. And I'm actually going to put that down here inside that drawer. Okay, so let's get started with my primers and foundations and all of that stuff. So I'm adding in 3 primers, but 2 of these primers, I use them together, so they kind of count as one. So the first one is going to be the new NYX Plump Right Back Plumping Serum Primer. So I actually just got this and I've been testing it out, and I actually really, really like this primer. It's not as tacky as I would have liked, because I heard some people saying like, oh, this is such a tacky primer. It's not as tacky as like the E.L.F. Jelly Pop primer or their new Power Grip primer, which I also have, but it still is tacky enough to kind of hold on to my makeup. makeup, so I'm going to be adding that in. And then I'm also going to be adding in the E.L.F Cookies and Dream Putty Primer. This one is new to me as well. This is the one that has like the Oreo cream smell, and honestly you guys, it smells really good. When I put this on my face, it does have like that middle of the Oreo cream filling smell, and I love the fact that it's shaped like a little Oreo. I thought this was so cute, so I will be adding that primer in. And then the next primer that I'm adding in, this is the Revlon Photo Ready Prime Plus Mattifying and Pore Reducing Primer. So this is like a skincare primer. It has salicylic acid in it, it has artichoke extract, AHA. So this one is really nice. I'm actually going to kind of use this like a skincare slash primer product, so I won't be going in with like my regular moisturizer. When I use this product, I will be using this as my moisturizer because it has those like good for skin benefits in it. So I wanted to put that in there to try it out. And then like I told you guys, because I'm so in between shades and I've gotten really light during the winter time, I want to add in my E.L.F Makiage Foundation. I have not used this foundation in a minute. I have mine in the shade 195. This is their Woke Up Like This foundation, and it is really light, but it matches me super duper well right now. Like this is one of the best shade matching foundations for me right now, so I definitely need to add that in. And then I'm also going to add in my Dose of Colors Meet Your Hue foundation. This one's in the shade 131 Dark. I don't think this one is a perfect match for me right now, but this is actually a super old foundation in my collection, so I kind of want to get some use out of it, see if it's going off or anything like that, and see if I still really like it. So next I'm going to be adding in a color corrector. Ever since I purchased that Milani color corrector, I have gotten back into color correcting. So this is the LA Girl Pro Conceal color corrector. This one is in the shade Orange Corrector. So I haven't used LA Girl concealers in a really long time, but I actually found this and their concealer in, I believe it's Fawn, in my collection. So I kind of want to put this in and start using it because I need to. And then for concealers, I am adding in quite a few, but again, I layer my concealers, so this isn't too much. So I'm going to be adding in the Morphe 2 High and Peak concealer. This one is in the shade Peak of Tawny. This is the concealer I use as like my first layer of concealer. It's more so like my skin tone, so I'm adding that one in. And then I also want to add in my Revolution Conceal and Define concealer. I have not used this bad boy in a long time, and I used to really love this concealer, so much so I went through a couple of these. This one is in the shade C12. It's a perfect highlighting shade for me. And then I'm adding in all three of these E.L.F concealers. So I have here the Hydrating Camo Concealer in Deep Olive. I have the 16-Hour Camo Concealer in Deep Olive. And then I have the 16-Hour Camo Concealer in Tan Sand. So basically I'm adding this super light one in because, as you guys can see, these are like really finicky, iffy type colors. They don't highlight as much as I would like. So I have to add this color in to give me more of that highlighting effect with these. So I'm adding all of those concealers into. So next I'm going to be adding in a cream bronzer. This is actually like a contour stick. This is the Kylie Cosmetics Bronze Tan bronzer stick. So I was going to declutter this a while ago because I was like, this just doesn't work for my skin tone. I don't like the way that it looks, but this is literally a contour stick. So when I use this, I have to use it specifically for contouring. It is not a bronzer stick, even though that's what it's called. On my skin, it shows up a bit more gray tone, so I will be using this as an actual contour. And here recently, I've been loving to layer my bronzers to give me like that bronze / contoured look. So this will actually come in handy. I've already tried this on my skin because I'm so light right now in the winter time. This actually works really well for my skin. So I will be using that as like my contour. And then I'm gonna go in with my under eye setting powder. So I'm putting in two. I'm putting in the Maybelline Fit Me Loose Finishing Powder in Medium Deep 30. This one is going to be used to set my under eyes. And then if I need to brighten them up a little bit more, I'm going to be using this Colourpop No Filter Setting Powder. This one is in the shade Banana. This is the really old packaging. I actually also have the newer packaging, so I just kind of need to start using my things and getting through them. So both of those powders are going in here. And then for my actual face setting powder, like I told you guys, I'm going to be using the Colourpop No Filter Setting Powder in Dark because that's the one that really matches my skin tone right now. It's not too dark for me. For bronzer, I'm adding in 3 bronzers. So the first one is new to me. This is the CoverGirl True Blend So Flushed High Pigment Bronzer, and this one is in the shade Ebony. So I was just going through Walmart and I happened to see this bronzer and I was like, ooh, I remember having the CoverGirl Ebony Bronze bronzer, and I wonder if this is supposed to be like a repackage of that one. Even though the Ebony Bronze bronzer had more of a sheen to it, like it had some shimmer particles in it, this one is completely matte. I still wanted to see if the color was the same because that bronzer was actually really nice for me. And I did swatch this one already. This bronzer is great for me. It's a nice brown tone bronzer. It's not super duper red. So I'm actually excited to be using that. The other bronzer that I'm adding in is my Fenty Beauty bronzer. This one is in Cocoa Naughty. I still, you guys, quite literally, I still have not gotten an opinion on this bronzer as long as I've had it. I don't know. I don't gravitate towards this bronzer, which probably means that I need to let it go or something, because I really don't reach for this bronzer. When I'm going through my bronzer drawer and picking out something to wear for the day, I hardly ever reach for this. So I'm putting it in my Shop My Stash so I can kind of see if I can get like a opinion on it and see if I like it or not. The next bronzer I'm adding in, this is my MAC Aladdin bronzer. This is actually supposed to be a blush, but it looks like a bronzer to me. Like if I hold it up to the Fenty one, they kind of have a similar tone. The MAC Aladdin one is a little bit lighter, but they have like a similar tone to them. So I wanted to add that in as a bronzer. Then I'm adding in one of my new putty blushes. This one is in the shade Tahiti. I really love, what's the shade? It's right here in my drawer, my everyday makeup drawer. I think it's Bali. Yeah, it's Bali. So I got this one. Tahiti is definitely more of a pink tone. I can actually take it out of the packaging now because it's not new because we're about to use it. But yeah, this one is definitely more of a pink tone, and I think that's okay with the eyeshadow palettes and stuff that I chose, as well as the Milani face palette. I think that this will be a nice blush to layer on top of. And then I'm not adding in any other blushes, just simply due to the fact that I have those two blushes in the Milani face palette. So I just wanted to put in that cream blush. And then I have a new setting spray. This is the Wet n Wild Fight Dirty Detox setting spray. I wanted to add this one in here because this setting spray, I cannot read this little writing. Okay, so this setting spray says that it helps clarify tone and reduce oiliness. It has chamomile, it has tea tree, eucalyptus, and niacinamide, and witch hazel. It has a whole lot of good for your skin ingredients, things that I already use in my skincare routine. So I kind of wanted to add this spray in on the days where I use this primer. So I feel like they would work really, really nice together. This is the only setting spray that I'm going to be adding in. Okay, so then I'm also going to be adding in two single eyeshadows. They are both Colourpop Super Shocks because I'm trying to go through my Colourpop Super Shocks this year. So the first one is a newer Super Shock to me. This one is in the shade Polly, and it comes in this pink packaging, and it's pretty much just a pink shimmery shade. So this is what she looks like. Very, very gorgeous. And then this is the Colourpop Super Shock in Hot Tamale, and basically this is one that's drying up, but I feel like I can get a lot of use out of this one as like an outer corner color, because as you guys can see, it's not super duper shimmery. This is one of their satin finishes, so it's not super duper shimmery, but it does have a nice sheen to it. So it's really, really pretty, and it's a darker like outer corner color in my opinion. So I wanted to add that in here to use that. So for highlighters, I wanted to pick one that I have never used, and then I wanted to use one that I wanted to get some use out of. So the first one that I'm putting in that I've never used, this is the Pure X Barbie highlight. I remember I went crazy over this Pure Barbie collection. So this highlighter is in the shade Confident Glow, and you have Pink Taffy, which is the rose gold shade, and then you have Bubbly, which is the champagne shade. So this is what that highlighter looks like. It is absolutely stunning. So as you guys can see, this is the more pinky highlight where Barbie's head is, and then around it is the more gold yellow tone highlight. There you can see it a bit better. So I wanted to add that in. I think it is stunning. And then I wanted to add in a highlight that I wanted to use more actually. This is the Colourpop Crush On You palette, and it comes with all of these beautiful highlighting shades. So you have this really light icy white shade, you have a pink, you have a gold, and then you have more of a bronze. And I've used this palette, I've gotten pretty good use out of it, but I just want to use it more. I think the shades are absolutely stunning, and they can work for a multitude of different looks. So I wanted to add that palette in. Now let's do lips. So I wanted to add in two liquid lipsticks from Live Glam. Y'all know I love my Live Glam liquid lipstick. So both of these are darker berry tone shades. So we have Ladies Night, which is the darker one, and then we have Disco Diva, which is more of like that berry pink shade. And I just wanted to add these in here because I feel like I never really wear my actual like darker pinkier lip colors. I'm always going for a nude, so I kind of wanted to switch things up a bit. And then I also am adding in this E.L.F Seriously Satin lipstick, and this one is in the shade Cider. So again, it's a completely different color than what I normally go for. It's kind of like this bricky red color. Well, it's looking bricky red on the camera, but it's a little bit lighter than that. It really does look like a cider cinnamon color. Then I'm adding in 2 glosses because y'all know I need my gloss. So I'm adding in the NYX, this is Milky Gloss, and I have these shades Milk the Cocoa and then Milk and Honey. So 2 new glosses that I can get some good use out of. And then I've been fiending to use one of my Fenty glosses. So I'm going to be adding in this Fenty gloss. This is the mini and this is in the shade Cake Shake. This came in a set for the holidays if I'm not mistaken, but it's just a really pretty bronze nude color. So I wanted to add that in. And then the last lip product I'm going to add in, this is from Morphe. This is one of their new lip trios. This one is in the shade Sweet Tea. So you got the Sweet Tea lipstick, the Sweet Tea gloss, and then the Sweet Tea lip liner. And this is what the lipstick looks like. So it's a very pretty brown shade. It's actually looking a little dark on camera, but it's a really pretty brown. So that is everything, you guys. That's everything that I'm adding into my Shop My Stash. I'm actually about to do swatches of some of the like color products, complexion products and everything, because I realized I didn't do swatches. But I think now I'm going to start adding the swatches at the end of the video just so everything can flow a little bit better. So yeah, I'm actually going to do the swatches and then I'm going to show you guys what everything looks like. Okay, so starting from left to right, we have the Colourpop Super Shock Shadow in Hot Tamale, and then we have the Colourpop Super Shock in Poly, and then we have that Kylie Cosmetics bronzer stick. Then we have the CoverGirl bronzer in Ebony. Then we have the Fenty bronzer in Coco Naughty. And then we have that MAC Disney Aladdin bronzer. So the next round of swatches that we have, this first swatch is the E.L.F. Putty Blush in Tahiti. And then next we have the entire palette from Milani, the entire face palette. So this is the highlight, this is the bronzer. These are the 2 blushes, and then these are the 3 eyeshadows. This middle rose gold shade is stunning. So yeah, I would definitely be able to create a whole look using the face palette. And I will also be able to use the bronzer and blushes and highlights as eyeshadows as well if I chose to. Last round of swatches. So the first 2 swatches are from the Barbie palette. So you have the more pinky one, then you have the more gold one. The next 4 swatches are the highlights from the Colourpop Super Shock palette. And then the 2 liquid lipsticks that are already drying down. The first one is Ladies Night, and then the second one is Disco Diva. And then the lipstick next to those is the E.L.F. Seriously Satin Lipstick in Cider. It's actually a beautiful color. Like, I can definitely see myself wearing that one. I don't know, I thought it would be darker, but that is absolutely gorgeous. And then next to that, you have the NYX, this is Milky Glosses. You have Milk the Cocoa, and then you have Milk and Honey, which is the more nude shade. Next to that one, you have Cake Shake from Fenty, which is nice and shimmery and pretty. Next to that, you have the Buxom Gloss in Trixie. And then right here, you have that Sweet Tea Trio from Morphe. So this is the lip liner, this is the lipstick, and then this is the gloss. The lipstick is stunning. Once again, I can't wait to wear these. So you guys, that is everything. That is everything that I'm adding into my Shop My Stash, including the swatches. There will be no get ready with me attached to this video. I think I'm gonna do my get ready with me separate so that the video is not super duper long with me talking about the previous round of products that I included and then the new round of products. So yeah, don't worry, a get ready with me will be coming. Yeah, I'm just super excited to be doing this Shop My Stash. I really have been enjoying going through my collection and getting use out of things and pulling new things out and discovering them and everything like that. So yeah, this has definitely been fun for me. If you guys like this video, go ahead and give it a big thumbs up and leave me a comment down below letting me know if you've been doing Shop My Stash, if you've been going through your collection and rotating through things. Just let me know down in the comments. If you're new, sis, thank you so much for watching. You should definitely go ahead and hit that subscribe button, join the Fragrance and Beauty Army, as well as that bell notification so that you can be notified every single time that I upload a video. And I'll see you guys in my next one. Peace.